It's time for another cartoon cake, but I'm using Honeydew's makeup palette as my inspiration. So I sliced my cake into triangles, and I popped the border icing on all sides. I want to make like a little wall to make sure the strawberries I put in this will not come out. Flatten down the sides. Then I added in some fresh strawberries. Yes, fresh. You can use jam if you want to, but I don't like jam. Then I topped it with the last cake, and I started icing all the sides up. You already know we're going to do a crumb coat and some vanilla icing to lock all those crumbs in. It's going to be a bit wobbly like my knees, but just keep on going. Once you get the icing covering every part of the cake, go ahead and put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes to an hour. Then you're going to take it out and work on the second layer of icing. And shout out to Honeydew. She's a black-owned makeup company, and she partnered with Strawberry Shortcake to make this Strawberry Shortcake palette. Now, y'all know I don't do makeup, baby. I hired me an MUA quick. So instead of doing a makeup video look like a clown, I did me a cake. And more so of a different version. I got my strawberry icing on, I put it in the fridge for a whole day. Yes, I fell asleep. Now it's time for the part that everybody loves and hates, the fondant part. So you think strawberry shortcake, you think to do it as strawberry crumbles. But no, I didn't want that. I wanted my colors to match her palette colors. So I got a brown gel food color and I colored my white fondant to make it a tan color. I really thought all I needed was brown, but after a few minutes, it started looking a little bit weird. And this is when I realized this ain't the brown that I want or need. So I went and got some yellow food color and added a drop of that and started mixing that in. After a few minutes, I'm like, okay, maybe it's working. And baby, it did. This is the 10 I was looking for to match my cake. Now it's time to put them shoulders to work, baby. I don't care what nobody say, making cakes is a workout. This is like my own version of the shoulder press. I got my cake out the fridge and I put some water on it. And some people use sugar, but I use water to seal the fondant on there. Added a fondant on it to make sure to smooth it out really well. I use the fondant press thingy, then I'm going to go ahead and cut off any excess fondant. You can definitely save any excess fondant by putting it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. And then when you're ready to use it again, just take out the freezer and let it come to room temperature. After I got the sides how I want it to be, I went ahead and put my cake back in the fridge or the freezer, whatever you want to do. Now that the cake part is on, we're going to do the frosting part. For this, I use white fondant to represent whipped cream. A real strawberry shortcake is usually a biscuit or a brown cake that is vanilla flavoring with a whipped cream topping and some fresh strawberries. So I cut out my white frosting to make it a squiggly line like I did my last cartoon cake. And again, it is so hard to show y'all what I'm doing with these angles because my back was killing me, baby. But I got it perfect to put it back in the fridge and worked on that topping. I rolled up my remaining white fondant to a skinny log. Then I swirled it around on itself to make it look like a whipped cream topping. When you pipe whipped cream on top, does it look just like it? Yeah. Then I rolled out some red fondant to represent the strawberry layers. Because strawberries are red, right? Once that was done, in the fridge, I worked with this black fondant. I use this clay maker too because it's 10 times easier to get the perfect size cylinders of black fondant out. And now we're just going to line the whole cake with black fondant. The black fondant gives it that cartoon effect and makes it look like someone drew it instead of someone actually decorating it. Added my whipped cream topping on top. Now she look a little ashy, so I went ahead and steamed it for about 2 minutes with just a regular hand steamer. And you got, boom, a strawberry shortcake cartoon cake featuring Honeydew. Y'all make sure to go support that queen. All right, bye.